Season 5, Episode 14, bonus episode, You Are My Hero, HRO. And this is our very last episode for this season. If you really enjoyed this season, and indeed if you just enjoy Y Work generally, do not forget to follow us on LinkedIn, and please subscribe and also download all the episodes. Go all the way back if you haven't already done so to Season 1, Episode 1, and I guarantee you will have you hooked. Now, in this episode, You Are My HRO. Why is everyone using a sledgehammer to crack open a macadamia? Asks Trajce, when he considers the industry practice of adopting an on-trend accident investigation tool. Just because. Risk versus reward. Reliability versus resilience. Trajce, Alan and Sara explore these tensions. Sara and Alan poke at Trajce's sensitivities to Harvard business law style jargon. And Sara challenges some of the high reliability organisation HRO precepts by using her design lens. And thank you once again for following us.
Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Create a new path, don't let the people follow your signs. Educate your mind.
Hello, and welcome to the Y Work podcast, a series of playful legal dissections on the most curious and alarming events in the world of work. The podcasters Alan Girl, Trajce Svetkovsky and Sara Pazell debate how to craft a better experience of work. Sit back, relax and enjoy. And remember, none of the things we talk about today should be construed as legal advice or any other type of advice. We're just here to talk about all things related to work. This is an experimental episode. We are going to converge two universes that ordinarily would not be said in the same sentence, and that is the use of investigation tools.
And what's the other thing?
And work.
Why work?
No, and work in the sex industry.
Oh, okay, wow. All right, I need to just wind back, because actually what I was going to talk about was high reliability organizations and accident investigation.
Come on.
We can go there, all right, we can go there, but let me just...
All right,
let me
let's
start
do yours
with the,
first. Yeah.
Let me start with the formal...
He's got a need.
As many people do, hence that industry exists, right? There are many needs, okay? So,
wants or needs.
Neurobehavioral drivers, I've been mentioning that, right? Okay.
You have.
I have, thank you. All right, so...
Right. Investigative tools.
No. High reliability organizations. So the first thing I'm going to talk about.
R.
High reliability, is that a hyphenated word?
A hero.
High reliability. HROs.
Heroes.
Love
That's
it.
right. Heroes.
Okay.
High reliability. Cool. Now, I have mentioned this to you guys before, and obviously I can see it's right at the forefront of your mind, and you recall that a treasure, everything I say, right? I can see that you're going, what was a hero?
Yep.
What was a high reliability organization?
High reliability, the opposite is low dependability.
The opposite, sorry?
Yeah, high reliability or low reliability?
Well, you were just talking about the issue of bombs, right? And you mentioned somebody talked to you about resilience, Alan. And in that discussion of resilience, it's about recovering and adapting and being agile when there's a whole variety of things that occur in work. And sometimes there is bad stuff that happens. A lot of the times there's some good stuff and even accidental things that fortunately don't go wrong. And you have to work out what things you need to prop and what you need to mitigate, right? That's
where you need to pivot.
Where, when, and how, and where you need to pivot.
So you've mentioned agile or agility, pivot, reliability. We now need the word journey, and my life will be complete. Harvard Law, Harvard Business School.
I'm completely at a loss, because you introduced us to investigative tools.
Yes, but we're going to talk about that after.
It doesn't sound anything like investigative tools.
Okay, no.
We're going to talk about high reliability first.
High reliability,
HRO, heroes first, right?
Yeah. Because we're on a journey.
Yes.
We can't rush to the end.
He went straight to the end, right?
Yeah.
But that's actually a new technique in presenting, where you say, you almost tell the answer. You know how before you said, I'm going to talk about this and these are my methods. Now you go, here's the answer, and then you get people curious and you go through the storytelling.
People are listening to my method of madness.
Yes, right.
I am curious now to find out how we get there.
Because we're going to get to sex and incident investigation tools. That's down the line. Right. So first of all, high reliability organizations, right? There are principles of high reliability organizations, and there are research centers specializing in this. There's a new one at UQ with Sustainable Minerals Institute, right? And it's things about like being sensitive to operations so that you understand that people who do the work are domain experts or subject matter experts, right? And you're really sensitive to how things happen. You make sure that you seek that information. You are committed to resilience, which is the term you just used, right? Sustainability and resilience. You want to keep things going and that you can anticipate trouble and improvise, pivot, all the words that Trajce loves in his politically correct digested form.
Thanks, Harvard Business School.
This one keeps me employed because it's a deference to expertise, right? So you want to make sure that they have a body of consultants, design counsel, advisors, legal counsel, et cetera, that they, that the organization seeks out those kinds of levels of expertise. Fair enough. Okay. Then there's this aspect about preoccupation with failure so that you continually evaluate all the outliers. And you've mentioned that, Trajce, Alan, you've mentioned this. And I want to add a mirror to this, that you also are preoccupied with success, that you must study success and what the behaviors and attributes of success are. So I guess why I'm raising this is the things I'm learning, that this is cool. The high reliability organization speaks a lot to what you must do in a very academic sense, but in reality, it really pays to study success. It also pays to simplify, yet one of the precepts of a HRO, a hero, is a reluctance to simplify. High reliability organizations are complex by definition. The whole wicked problems, complex issues. They should embrace complex solutions for complex problems. I'm thinking they should embrace the study of complex problems and learn how to provide a solution that's simple. So I counter this because I can tell you right now, in the last 2 weeks of my business, almost every single day, the business problem that was put on my plate is, here we have this complex issue. Sure, help us deep dive and delve into this, but we want a solution that's manageable, meaningful, comprehensible, that's going to be enduring in our business, that people can hold on to, that don't need a PhD to grapple with it, that you can explain it, just like the whole body vibration. It takes something, that app takes something very complex and puts it very simply on a phone. I have been talking to businesses like OrbViz.
I've got it.
What?
So I know where you're going. You're going to say that Robin Burgess's WBV, whole body vibration app, could be used as an investigative tool in the sex industry.
No, but that's, a clever little connection if you wish.
It could be.
It could be.
It's probably perfect. It's probably perfect.
It depends what the purpose of investigation is.
If you want to know if you're having safe sex, go and have a look at Robin Burgess lyrics.
Of how it jiggles?
WBV app and slap it on a bottle.
No, but you talked about the injury.
Slap it.
But you talked about the injury involving the worker with compensation payout.
We did.
That was a back injury. So
it was a back injury.
You can be used for that.
Shagger's back. Sorry, Sarah, what were you saying?
It's a work-related injury.
Have we done it again? Have we interrupted you and taken you off?
You have interrupted me again and again and again. But
So,
OrbViz is a company that specializes in taking really complex metadata and populating this in an interactive way that you can extract. It's very person-centered way. So council data, maybe you're a resource sector industry partner, you're a section of the government, and you want your contingency, your supporters, people in your regions to be able to understand this complex information. Because when you look at your long annual reports, yawn, right, who they speak to, and put a lot of time and energy into those damn reports. But is that really useful? You look at a couple of charts and then turn the page, right? So this way you can extract, you can push on your orb, and you can say, I want to know about, playgrounds in my region, and boom, 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 all the information comes out in this little orb with videos and pictures and quick stats, and you can interact with that on a web-based program, right? It's simplifying complex information. In accident causation, incident investigations.
Freeway.
Right? There's another link. In all of the complex material you can find that has contributed to a single event, right? You can unpack that layer by layer by layer. You still need to explain that and learn from this with simple tools. And I'm looking at this with animations and digital imagery, photography and video, where you have a shared presence and you have little icons and people can quickly click, drag, and interact and explain what happened in an event for recreations, for learning tools, for pre-starts, and annotate and narrate. Speak to it and write prompts on it. It's live, it's in the cloud, it's not a documentation system, and somebody else can quickly moderate that. They can regulate that. They might comment on it, and it becomes a live document, if you will, with imagery. It's a visual storyboard. So you see what I'm saying, that while we're talking about, not wanting to simplify, I'm saying absolutely you do wish to simplify. You want to understand complex issues and then find simple communication strategies, simple mediation strategies, something that you can hold on to, because there's a lot of effort on very complex analysis. Now, Trajce, you and I are in the middle of almost finished submitting a journal paper with some colleagues of ours. We've got several folks on our team working on this, and it's about accident causation. You want to talk about that a little bit?
I think we've reached a point in accident causation investigations where A, you can overthink things, so simplification is good, but B, there are so many tools, and if you asked a certain person in a certain industry, why are you using this? Well, it's because this is what we do.
This is what's done, right? People debate the value or the merits of a tool, and what Trajce and I are looking at is, first of all, what's your purpose? Trajce has pointed out from the legal review, what's your jurisdiction and what does the law say that you must do, so you can make sure you absolutely fulfill that requirement, because it varies. It is not harmonized across industry or location, right? This is what you've teased out.
And say you must use this tool. Indeed, there are helpful pointers if you're on Safe Work or whether you're on the Queensland regulator's site. There are heaps of pointers in the right direction. But we've just looked at, there's something like, now I could be wrong here, someone else might know more.
Hundreds of tools.
I think it's about 120, as in like readily identifiable.
Or more common. There's common and
there was 120, and that's lots. By any stretch of the imagination, that's lots. But we're looking at about, I think it's 18. We've got 18
popular incident investigation, accident causation model tools, right? So, reporting methods and things that prompt your discussion.
Yeah, and looking at the good, the bad, the ugly. Now, some are really robust, for example, ICAM. Some others are a little bit light on, like if you just use an average sort of chronology type tool. But my point is, there are so many tools, but if you lined up 100 users, mate, why are you using this? Oh, no, it's what industry does.
This is what industry does. And there's human factors tools, like there's the stamp, and there's some tools that go way into an axi map.
Why are you using this? Oh, I don't know. Well, it's what the industry does. But not one person can say or will say, well, it's because the law says I must.
And I want to go beyond...
No, I'm not aware of any provision within legislation requiring you to use a particular tool.
That's
the regulators favour types of... Like ICAM is popular in the mining sector.
It's popular, but is it meeting the purpose? So it can be.
No, I think it's a terrible tool, to be honest. I shouldn't say that.
No. You can. No, it's a debate. It's a discussion. It's true. But I wonder if I said to you, this is hypothetical. Okay, you're using ICAM. If I suggested to you, you could also, for example, throw in an additional tool which could complement it. That's an example of evaluation and going, oh yeah. ICAM plus...
Well, when you're for a defendant, the last thing you want to do is produce a document that identifies a whole raft of failings, but that's in a prosecution setting. But if you're in an investigation where you're trying to prevent the incident happening again... then maybe you would want to do that.
And there's also tools, like you said, AxiMap, et cetera, and some of them go into policy and governance and what you think so expansively, which is a good academic exercise, but it also might not be anything you have agency or purchase or agency over. You can't influence that at your level. So it's like,
That's right.
well, that was a good, interesting academic exercise, but what can I do here now?
Yeah.
But beyond the worry about this tool or that tool, context matters.
That's
and you
right.
go back to, what is your purpose? And I keep telling organizations, can you explain your design philosophy on the approach you need to take? And they go, what? I go, right. What was your purpose of doing this investigation? And it almost gets lost with assumptions, which is dangerous, right? So they start to go, well, it's our legal obligation. All right, well, if it's your legal obligation, the law doesn't say you must use a tool. It's a process of learning and evaluating and improving.
Educate your mind, because the system will keep you blind.
Well, a simple use of a chronology, for example, of events could provide enough data to show that you discharged your duty or obligation, yet...
Because you've done that basic level of investigation.
Yeah, it could have just been a simple task of the morning shift with the roster involving setting up this studio, for example. And it just required a nice little tick box of, leads, lights on cable.
Was it a fatality, or was it, and I've heard companies saying they've used ICAM, and in fact all it was in a huge global business was one person pulling something out of the boot of their car, and they ended up with a musculoskeletal disorder, that they're not going to have a strategy to harmonize their approaches across hundreds and hundreds of mining companies. And it's like, wow, all right, so slow it down, and maybe the right investigation tool for manual tasks is a little bit different for these types of psychosocial events and system events. And the point being more clearly is, go back to your purpose. Are we looking for legal compliance? Are we looking for learning and development and prevention? Are we looking to build more resilience in our system? Are we looking for a system that we can communicate to multiple partners in the business? And in that case, that's where some really easy pictorial storyboards with the hazard icons and with some learning outcomes could be useful.
So you're looking at artificial intelligence in these investigative tools?
Now that can be used too, because you can build that into software systems if there are some forms of recognition. Like, so for example, when you have monitoring cameras that with surveillance, they can identify objects and trajectory of movements. You might have trends and themes that come up in being able to do object recognition, or you might look at trend analysis with artificial intelligence about what's occurring. It depends on what parameters you put in the system.
So what's the end result of this investigation into investigative tools?
Well, the curious thing was, why, for example, is everybody necessarily, using a sledgehammer to crack open a macadamia?
That's right. And what happens? And now let's go back to purpose, which is what
purpose.
Alan really wants to go to, is the context. I think that piqued his interest, because you see the answer of like, what happens if you're using this on a sports field or in a brothel? Right?
You did. Right?
You did. You've got to end it. Close it. Talk about that.
So what would be the most ideal tool?
Or a reality TV. A tool
for an injury. So you need to scope the work. So will Aximap be helpful, or will it be Stamp?
Five Wise, Fishbone. Where are we going?
Could it be Fishbone? Or could you use, because the use of an app such as...
the whole body vibration tool now. He wants to go back to that, right? That might be an instrument.
That was so much fun.
Technical instrument
to
help.
It was better than sex.
Wow.
So
that makes life easy. You just got to download a free app.
So what we're saying is, before, and that's the magic word P, it's the purpose. So what's your purpose? So what are we scoping here? And it seems to me that people have sort of passed that step and they've gone straight to application.
They've gone right to a solution as a tool, and they're debating the merits of a tool. And then when I say, what's your purpose? It goes blank. And nobody has paused, which is a design strategy. Good work design is the cogent
if
strategy.
If a person identifies their purpose, are there tools out there to assist people in choosing their tool?
Educate your mind, because the system will keep you blind.
Well, there's...
That's a good one.
in the brothel or in the sports field or in...
No. So what you're advocating is you're saying there's so many different investigative tools out there.
Yes, context
and then people
matters.
aren't really thinking about the purpose for which they want the tool.
And they have no design
so
philosophy.
If I'm a consumer or I'm a work health and safety officer in a company and I say, okay, I've taken on board what you said, I know what my purpose is, how do I identify the tool that I should be using?
I would say it depends on the context. I'm not saying that one tool solves all problems. That's my point.
But what's my next step on that journey?
Know your tool.
No.
Well, yes.
No, the methods that you need. That's right.
To apply your tool. And
Right,
what I'm saying is don't just rush in and grab any old tool.
It could be empathy maps, it could be personas, it could be task analysis, it could be job analysis, it's design strategy, it could be your favorite language journey maps,
Correct.
right?
Think carefully before you rely on a tool. That's what I'm trying to say. So in other words, apply your noggin.
And who's using it? Is it going to be useful to the person using it, right? Is it too far convoluted that the person on the ground can't make sense of it?
Sarah gave the good
Sure,
example.
they're all questions, but if I'm a work health and safety officer in a company and I need to... All right, so I'm the brothel WHS officer.
Right.
And I've had an incident that's occurred within the business and I'm saying, okay, I need to investigate that. So I'm going to, I know the purpose that the investigation is being conducted for. So I know the context in which the investigation is going to go on. And there's 100
So
tools
what is your
out there.
purpose? What is your
How do I
purpose?
choose one of those 100?
It depends on what your purpose is. Give me a stated purpose.
Oh, well, I want to make sure that none of the workers are injured in the future.
All right, so it's future proofing.
Okay, future proofing.
So then your methods may be about gathering everybody in the room, learning from the domain experts, looking at an event recreation, which I know you'll love that story.
Oh, come on.
And no, seriously, right? Okay, talking about the outliers, learning from domain experts, looking at the literature, the scientific literature.
Okay, but I still have to choose my tool.
Before you do that, though.
No, those are multiple reporting methods. It's just
Sarah,
reporting.
Oh, so you're not...
Sarah explained it. You go and get help. You go and find, you get domain experts to assist you.
You call me.
Yeah.
But I still have to... So I line up the experts, of which there will be many.
Yeah, you facilitate.
So Sarah's up there on the list. Now, let's say Sarah's not available because then it would be an easy choice.
No, I'm always available or someone from my team.
So how do I choose the expert that I want to come in and help me?
And if you're saying to me that you want to prevent recurrences, then you must have somebody who has a design thinking hat on, because somebody just in risk and compliance will unlikely have a very comprehensive approach to looking at design of work.
Probably be fault.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
The thing is, I guess that whether you're going to use a designer or someone into behaviour, it doesn't matter. The fun is you need to go and get help and expertise who can assist you in working out which tool.
Or you develop systems, like I was talking about, making it simple enough, because there are a lot of companies that can't afford having an expert all the time in and out. And that's why I'm saying that the issue of reliability for an industry is about creating simple tools and methods and the visual storyboarding, camera, video, notation, narration, live document.
And
I call it that term document, live substance in the internet with some learning and consulting with people who know that work and learning from other industry examples and outside your industry. That becomes a live, iterative, ongoing thing that's not closed.
You don't just take it off
when
the
does
shelf.
project of yours come to an end?
Soon, hopefully. We'll see.
What project? You mean the report, the journal paper? No, Trajce's got Wednesday to get it to me because it's gone back and forth for months. So he's got till Wednesday, and then I finish
Do you need help?
It'll be published soon, and we're going to talk about know your jurisdiction so that you meet those legal compliance issues and know your purpose, and then find some simple solutions around this that convey some meaningful information.
So the takeaway is, rather than just taking something straight off the shelf or
debating a tool against a tool, it doesn't matter.
The thing is, there are lots of tools out there, as we know,
and open to systems rather than just blaming a human for behavior. Otherwise, you'll never make
There's just so much to that.
Trendy, and people it becomes entrenched in an organization just because everybody else is doing it.
Do it. Now, on that note, we've got to go because we're going to get kicked out.
All right. Well, I look forward to reading your article.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Stay tuned.
Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind.
We hope you enjoyed that episode of Why Work. You've been listening to Trajce, Sara and Alan. And if you'd like to know more about some of the things we've talked about today, please subscribe, and we'd be more than happy to provide you with information, names of cases, and other things that may interest you. Please be aware that none of the matters we've talked about today should be construed as legal advice or any other type of advice. We're just here to talk about all things related to work. See you next time.
Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Create a new path, don't let the people follow your signs. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Create a new path, don't let the people follow your signs. In my lifetime, I followed the wrong signs, a perpetrator of crime. My savior the rhyme, I got to a point and had to decide, should I educate and lead or run and hide? School, it wasn't for me, no textbooks or lunch money, bullies, detention, teacher condescension. I started bombing and wagging school. My mum's boyfriend would get drunk and beat me with a garden tool. Any wonder why I vent? And to the police, soft and arrogant, my final destiny driven by content. Never a lick ass, never a faker. All my life, an authority hater. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Create a new path, don't let the people follow your signs. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Create a new path, don't let the people follow your signs. I took up drinking and smoking the chronic, making bundles from Louis and pushing narcotics. A few years later on, I found myself on the run, in possession of a sawn-off shotgun. I got myself an evil habit, what I've stolen could fill a house from the basement to the attic. The CIB wanna talk to me, and the Christians seem to agree that gangster rap did this to me. Next thing you know, I'm on the news looking back at you, cause I stuck up a survey with the 22. Eventually, the D's, they caught up to me and sent me to a correctional facility. The system, it couldn't handle me, so they branded me a menace to society. Why did I learn? By making mistakes. At times I got so wild, my life was at stake. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Create a new path, don't let the people follow your signs. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Educate your mind, cause the system will keep you blind. Create a new path, don't let the people follow your signs. So I did my time. Fuck a life of crime. I move forward with a life of rhyme. Now bear witness, going to beat hardship and stress. Come up a winner against life's tests. Be born for mental victory, giving back to the community. Mix and